I want to talk today about how regret is holding you back from your manifestations coming in. Regret requires us to dwell on the past mistakes that were made, things that we wish we could go back and do over. Thinking about all of these things distract us and our mind from focusing on what we want to come into our lives. I want to show you a quick and easy exercise to wipe regret out of your mind and out of your life. I often think of regret as an addiction for your brain. Your brain just keeps repeating over and over the thing that we did that we can't take back. It goes on autopilot sometimes. The problem with regret is not only does it block our mind from receiving our manifestations, but it can also actually negatively impact our physical health. As with all other negative emotions, it doesn't work to try to avoid the replaying of regret or dismiss it. It's something you need to work through. You have to accept it in order to move through it. I'm going to go through some simple steps to help you process and move through regret. The movie we want to play in your mind is the movie of your wish fulfilled, not a movie of regret. I'm going to give you an example from my own life to help you understand this a little better. I used to sell on multiple deal of the day sites. At the time I was selling, one of the sites offered a look into how many units other sellers were selling that day. At the time, I was in the clothing business and was selling some basic t-shirts. I was selling anywhere from 2,000 to 10,000 units in a week on this particular site. I started branching out a bit and bringing in other items to sell. I had the idea to create my own t-shirt brand. I had the perfect idea for a shirt. I knew it would sell. Just had an intuitive feeling based on the market. I never went through with the particular idea because of fear. I worried that someone would beat me to it, that someone would undercut me, that all of a sudden people would stop buying these types of shirts. I just let all of the fear consume me. About 3 months later, another seller started selling nearly the exact same shirt I had been thinking of selling. In their first day of selling, they sold over 5,000 shirts. By the time the week was over, it was over 13,000 shirts. I was sick. They went on to resell this shirt twice a month on this site for years, selling 5,000 to 10,000 shirts in any given week. And I had a front row seat to watch their success. I had so much regret over not selling this shirt, it started to consume me. The regret started to block anything else from coming in. My creativity shut down. I was anxious, nervous, upset. It was a vicious cycle. Anytime I went to click on the site, I immediately had anxiety because I didn't know if I could handle what I was about to see. Now, mind you, at this time, I had a 7-figure business. I was doing extremely well. But I was so stuck on this one mistake I had made that I let it consume me. Things started to slowly fall apart in my business. I was putting out the wrong kind of energy. Suddenly I was putting out nervous, anxious, and stressed energy instead of the usual joyful, excited, and fun energy. I was early in my journey of law of attraction, but I recognized what was happening and I knew why. It was the regret I was carrying. I sat down one day determined to work through it. The first step is accepting the feelings. I sat there and just felt the disappointment. I felt the anger. I felt all of the feelings. I cried, I yelled into pillows, and basically threw a temper tantrum like a child. I knew I needed to acknowledge all of those feelings and feel them. Let them move through me. I let myself feel that disappointment in myself. I sat and marinated in it, and it wasn't fun. But as I felt those feelings come up, and actually accepted them instead of brushing them away, eventually they moved through me. When I was done, the second step was asking myself why I'm feeling this way. The truth was, the first thought I had was that I was disappointed in myself that I didn't follow my intuition. I knew it would work. I was upset with myself for letting myself down. The money was secondary, and I think this is a really common thing when it comes to regret. A lot of regretful situations come down to you letting yourself down and accepting that, and that can be really hard. The next step was figuring out what I could take away from this situation. What could I learn to help me not have regret again? The answer for me was very simple. When I feel my intuition that deeply and feel like I have a pull that strong, follow it. I may not always be right, but I've always been a bit of a risk taker, and most of the time it pays off when I follow my intuition. The final step was to release the situation and forgive myself. I have a phrase I like to say when I'm doing this. Saying it aloud is actually really helpful to release. God, I give this to you. Please release this from me. I forgive myself and am ready to move on. You can pray to whoever, whatever resonates for you. It's a simple statement and it's effective, especially if you follow this process and go through the entire exercise. These are my steps for easily and effectively passing through regret. This is such an important thing to remove from your life so that your mind and feelings can focus on the positivity of your manifestations happening, rather than dwelling on the negativity from the past. I hope you found this helpful. Please be sure and subscribe so you don't miss a video. Have an amazing day.